What's going on, Jeromes? Beautiful Monday. So, full disclosure, Margaret was just like playing her Nintendo, playing like Minecraft or something. I'm just like, I don't know, can just make me something artsy. And she's like, what of? I said, I don't know, do something like mountains. And then she came back with this. I mean, this is amazing. So, I don't know if you can see, but she like cut the mountains out of different paper. So we got different shades here. Actually, this should be the Minnesota state flag. I feel like this would be fantastic, but it's got, although we have no mountains. Don't care. Anyways, but we got the sun. Got a little cabin here, a little hunting shack because we got some deers. Yeah, got some deer right there. Got a snowboarder over there. Even though I've told them several times there will be no winter skiing or snowboarding sports because I feel like the upside of skiing or snowboarding is like you're mildly entertained. The downside, death. But I don't know. Anyways, but we got some Q's, we got some A's. You guys are the best. Let's fire this up. So first up, outside the box, Mr. Payday. Crazy idea. If JJ wins QB1, what if instead of trading Mullins, they trade Sam Darnold? This would mean JJ wins outright, but they could maybe get something more for Sam, and they nick enough as second string. Now, it's from a couple days ago, but Darnold, I think, is firmly held on to quarterback one. McCarthy's shown out great, but I don't think it'll be enough to supplant Darnold right away. So that's where we are. But I don't know, like in some crazy scenario, say McCarthy comes in and just rips the cover off the ball all three preseason games and Darnold just sort of falls off a cliff. It would have to be something specific, like Sam Bradford 2016. So the Eagles had drafted Carson Wentz. Obviously, it was going to be his job, and they were just hanging on to Bradford and just waiting for some team to have an injury. And unfortunately, the Vikings, Teddy's leg fell off, and then the Vikings ended up trading a first and I believe a fourth for Sam Bradford. And then, yeah, that's where we're at. But yeah, I don't necessarily see it happening. I'm perfectly fine with Sam Darnold this year. Fight on. But of course, JJ McCarthy's future is insanely bright. I mean, yeah, I'll be hyped up, man. Traveler, besides McCarthy, who are you excited to see in preseason? Basically, all the rookies. But Levi Drake Rodriguez want to see him in a game situation since I don't know if you know this, but the Texas A&M Commerce film, a little bit sparse. Although he did shine at the Tropical Bowl. Dwight McLaughlin, Nudie, don't sleep on him. I think that he's going to be uber fantastic, working with the twos, a little bit with the ones. Gabriel Murphy, as well as Owen Porter on the edge. Bo Richter as well. I think the young guys on the edge, I think that might be giving Andre Carr the second run for his money. I really think so. Yeah, and just basically... Obviously, yeah, like we said, McCarthy is going to be great. See who else? Naylor, because Jefferson Addison probably not going to play preseason, so Jalen Naylor could be the first team wide receiver one. See how he handles it. So go from there. Also, so maybe it may sound stupid, but Samus Reyes, the international pathway tight end. There you go. B Breaker. Oh, also Jaquelin Roy. B Breaker, do you see Mekhi Blackman returning in December for the playoffs like Coach Flo said in his presser last week? Now, again, another man of Troy. Mekhi Blackman certainly has that mentality where he wants to get back as soon as possible. It really would have to depend on what type of ACL injury he had. Like if it's an ACL and an MCL, ACL and a PCL, ACL with any structural damage, I mean, that's off the table. Absolutely. But if it's your run-of-the-mill ACL orthoscopic surgery, I mean, it would be pushing the bounds because the time in between when he tore his ACL and the Super Bowl is 200 days, so 6 months and 19 days, I think they calculated. So, I mean, most ACL tears, 9-10 months minimum, so it would be a super compressed timeline. And also, it'd have to be a spot... If the Vikings make the Super Bowl, I mean, obviously that secondary probably has stepped up quite a bit. And I don't would you feel comfortable a guy coming off the ACL who hasn't played at all of a sudden playing snaps in the Super Bowl? I don't know. It would be a fantastic story. I love me some Mekhi Blackman forever. And I think that he's going to be a stud in this league, but probably not going to happen this year. Although we have seen it before. Don't quote me on this. I may have just made this up. Blair, someone tears an ACL in OTAs and makes it back for end of training camp, or maybe it's some other major injury, maybe not specifically an ACL. That could be it. I may be lying. I don't know. Who knows? Next up, John Matthews. Do you think that the team will enter into preseason with the cornerback room as it currently stands, or do you think they will add anyone else? Now, O'Connell has left the door open for adding more in free agency. The Vikings have the cap space, and it's basically just been a gong show at the cornerback position as of late. So Mekhi went down. Shaq Griffin got dinged up with that hamstring. And they brought in Jacoby Francis. They brought in Duke Shelley. They brought in Bobby McCain, who's more of a safety / slot. They brought in Fabian Moreau, who's been getting some run with the ones. So it might be a spot where they feel comfortable with the critical mass at cornerback, because Griffin will be back. And also they like McLaughlin. Caleb Evans had a couple of nice practices last week. Hopefully he can pan out. They got Murph and Moreau and Shelley in there. I mean, they may be okay with that, but also, like, don't close the door of signing someone during the season. It's basically what happened with Dalton Reisner last year, where they kept playing footsie with Reisner, but they didn't get things together until week 3 after Oli Udoh tore his quad. So it could be a spot. I mean, the trade deadline's week 9, 10 nowadays, where they still could trade for Lattimore or Tariq Woolen or Bradbury's probably going to get cut. But also, they could sign Gilmore or one of the Jacksons or whoever during the season if things falters. But I think that they do want to get a good look at who they have currently, and hopefully that there will be some confidence built up in that regard. Lastly, Ravilla, do you think the Vikings will be a run-first team? I think the Vikings want to run the ball more because it opens up what they can do in the passing game. And with Jefferson and Addison and eventually Hockenson, like, you're not just going to run the ball, man. Come on. But both O'Connell and Wes Phillips have talked about the value of C.J. Ham, not just a special teamer, but as a fullback, and talking about using a lot more 21 personnel, 2 running backs, 1 tight end, 2 receivers at the beginning of the season with Hockenson up on blocks to find those mismatches, because we talked about this, 21 personnel. If they're in base, you throw it. If they're in sub-package, you run it down their throat. So that's the flexibility the Vikings will have there. Plus, basically, O'Connell's a quarterback and wants to air it out, but everything is predicated on the quarterback under center, play action being viable, and taking shots downfield and over the middle of the field, right? So that's the basics of O'Connell's brand of West Coast offense. It's very Shanahan adjacent, and the running game obviously would help out Darnold and or McCarthy, who's under center, and Aaron Jones looks good. Ty Chandler looks good. Kene and Myles Gaskin's in the mix as well. But overall, I think that they want to run the ball, but also it's mainly to keep play action viable, to keep defenses occasionally in base defense, and also have them make them respect the run, and that's going to open things up downfield for Jefferson, Addison, and Hockenson. So, to a degree, yeah, they want to be a run-first team, but they are running just to throw, as opposed to just throwing just to throw, like last year. Yeah, even though it really is more of a throw-to-run era in football, but things could certainly help. I think Aaron Jones is going to be fantastic, man. I think he's going to be really good. But that's it. That's at Q&A session for this beautiful Monday. You guys are the best. You know what to do. Skull production value.